Hello students, now we will look into the lab program number 6. And what is the lab program number 6? Henceforth, all these are the PHP programs, and what is the prerequisite softwares that are required? It needs Xampp to be installed, and how to install the Xampp? You have to have the Xampp and Notepad++. Those two are sufficient to work out the next 6 to 10 programs. So first thing is how to install the Xampp. Okay, just type Xampp download, or you can go to the link that I had shared, and you go to the website www.apachefriends.org. Okay, click on that. The installation of Xampp is very simple. There is no complications. There should not be any problem, as long as if download and installation steps goes through well. Okay, and few instructions are there. If you follow that, it should be easy. You can download from here. You can see the different versions. This is for the Xampp is for the Windows version 7, and it works for the 10 as well. So if you have any versions of the Windows above 7, you try installing this, and if you face any problem, then we should be able to debug. I have the Windows 10 system, and I have installed Windows this particular version of the Xampp, and it is working perfectly fine. And once you install, so download and make sure that whether say it's a 64-bit or 32-bit, according to that you have to look out for the proper version. This is for the Windows, and if you have Linux, you can go for these downloads. And if you have a Mac, okay, then you can go for these different versions of the download. And here they have given the versions. Okay, this is 7.2.34. Maybe you can go with the latest one, or you can go with the previous or previous to previous one. Any version is fine, as long as it works. And this, what is included in this particular package is given here. So if you click here, you will come to know what is included. These are the things. Apache is there, 2.4.46, MariaDB, okay, PHP is there, PHP, MyAdmin, OpenSSL, Xampp control panel, WebLizer, then Mercury mail transport system, FileZilla FTP server is there, Tomcat, and Strawberry Perl. So those are the things that are included. For our purposes, Apache and the database related things are sufficient. Rest, it will come as a package. It will be helpful for your project work. If you are doing some kind of a web application development, that will be helpful. So just whatever is the package, you just install everything. Go with the default settings. Don't try to customize anything. Go with the default setting, and once you do the successful installation, you should be able to see the Xampp control panel. I have already installed. Once you install successfully, you will see the Xampp control panel. So inside the Xampp control panel, you can configure, start and stop these different kinds of servers. We have Apache server. Okay, if you want to do configuration on top of whatever is the given, you can click on the configuration, and you can see. And logs, if you have built some kind of a web application after successful installation of Xampp, you are facing some errors in the web application, those things will be logged here. You can go to the logs, and it will show you what kind of a error you are getting. Okay, MySQL is there, FileZilla, Mercury, Tomcat. These are the things that are present. For most of our lab programs, Apache is sufficient. So after the installation, once you open the control panel, click on the start for the Apache. You start the Apache server, that's the web server. Okay, now you can see it is running. You can see if there are any errors, okay, it will show here. You can see 1224 Apache attempting to start Apache app. Next, after in 1 second, status change detected running. Now Apache server is detecting. If your installation is successful, what you have to do is just type localhost on the web browser and hit enter. If you see this particular page, that means your installation is successful. You can run the application in this particular server. So you can start working on the lab programs. So this page is loading whenever you say localhost. Then everything is successful. That is how you are going to do the installation. And after the installation, what one more thing you need is a Notepad++. Okay, just say notepad plus plus and go to notepad++.org, and it is simple installation. You don't have to worry. Just choose the right 64 bits or 32 bits. Okay, and choose the right version and install it. Why we need notepad++? Instead of using the notepad, so far for HTML we use the notepad. For PHP, notepad++ gives a better indentation and better way of representation. So the code will be very easily readable and understandable. That is the reason we should go for that. Okay. Now with that prerequisite, this prerequisite for the rest of the programs. Whenever you want to run this program, you have to make sure that you open the control panel and start it. And once all your work is done, you stop it and you can close the control panel. So now, what is the lab program number 5? Problem statement. Write a PHP program to keep track of number of visitors visiting the web page and to display this count of visitors with the proper headings. What we have to do? We have to write a PHP program which will keep track of number of visitors. How many visitors are coming to your web page or the web application, and we have to display the count with a proper heading. So this is our task. Okay, this is the lab program number 6, number of visitors .php. All the PHP code, as we know, it will have an extension of .php, right? So you can see the extension as .php, and this is done in a Notepad++. I will open the program. Okay, this is the HTML document. I have the HTML document, type HTML, then I have the HTML. So here you can see here the visibility of the code, readability of the code is much higher compared to the notepad. The minute I selected the HTML, it gave me a closing tag, and let us say if there is any mistake in typing the tag, then it will not show. That is how you will come to know easily the corresponding HTML opening and the closing tags. So this is opening, this is closing, and inside that I don't have any head. I have only body. Body is there, body opening tag, HTML tag, and the closing tag. Inside it I have the PHP code, and we know from our previous class, when we want to include the PHP code, we have to have the PHP start tag and PHP end tag. What is the PHP start tag? It is the open angle bracket or less than question mark PHP. This is always the considered as the PHP start tag, and question mark and closing angle bracket or the greater than sign is considered the closing bracket for the PHP code. Inside the start and the close of the PHP code, I have the code. So here task is what? We have to count the number of visitors who are coming to our web application or the web page. If I want to count, I have to have some kind of a storage. I need to use a storage where I will store how many have been so far visited. When a next hit happens on my web page, I will come to know what was the previous number, and from there I will just add 1. So that is how I will get the next visitor counter. So for that, for storing that value, we are going to use a file. Okay, count.txt file. This is the variable in PHP. This is how we declare the variable $sign and file. Dollar file is the variable. is equal to, I have counts.txt inside a single quote. Means I am storing this text. What is the text? Count.txt, which is actually a file name. That text I am saving inside this $file variable. Then if first here is the file exists. So file exists is a PHP function. It comes under the file handling. It will check whatever the parameter is there. What is the parameter is going to be? Count.text. It will check whether that file is available. Where that file is available, because I have not given the path here, right? I have not given the relative path or the absolute path. What I have given is the just the file name. If you give the just the file name, wherever is the PHP code, this particular PHP code, program 6 underscore number of visitors dot PHP, wherever you have kept that PHP code, in the same folder you have to keep this counter.txt. So it will look in the same folder. If it finds that particular file, it will return true. If it doesn't find that particular file, it will return false. So file exists, answer is true or false. Which file exists? Count.txt. Let us say that particular file is not present. Okay, if that particular file is not present, file exist will return false. Okay, and whatever the answer we are getting, we are complementing it. We are using the not symbol. You can see this particular small exclamation. So we are complementing that. So false will become true. That is, if this condition will become true. When it will become true? When this particular file is not present in that particular folder, right? If that statement is true, what we are doing is we have to create that file. Okay, when this will happen? Suppose first time a visitor is coming and hitting your file, that time the file will not exist. So that time it will come as true. I will demonstrate that. So it will come as true, means that file doesn't exist. If that file doesn't exist, we have to create that file. So for that, I will have another variable $fh. So basically this we will use another method, fopen. Fopen method, what it will do is, this will open this particular file. Whatever the file you are specified, that particular file it will open, and it will open in the this mode. This is the mode. So there are different modes a file can be opened: read only, read write, write only. So there are different modes that we can open. A specifies it specifies write only. We want to open this file write only, and A also make sure if this particular file is not present, it will create the file. So that is the job of fopen function. What the fopen will do? If this particular file exists, it will open in a write only mode. So that is the A, write only mode. If that particular file is not present, then the A will make sure that the A will indicate it will create the file. So at this stage, we have already checked file doesn't exist. So what this step will do? Fopen will create count.txt file in the same folder, and it will make it as a write only, and that file handler is assigned to $fh variable. Clear? And after creating the file, what I will do? Fwrite. What the fwrite method will do? Fwrite method will clear the file. $fh is the file handler, right? I have the file handler to this count.txt file, and in that file I am going to write as 1, because this is the first visitor. So this step will created the file, opened it in a write only mode. The second step, fwrite function, will take the first parameter as a file handler, which is count.txt, and it will write as 1. Means whatever is the content is there, it will remove all the content and it will write as 1. Initially when we created the file, there is nothing, it is empty, so it will create 1. After doing that, $count is equal to, this is the method, file get contents. File get contents, and I am giving the file name. So what this method will do, whatever is the content of that particular file. What is the content of the file? the content of the file is 1, right? Because you just wrote it 1. It will take that content and string val, what it will do, it will convert that into a string value, and it will assign the that value to the count variable, dollar count variable. What is the content of the dollar count variable now? It is 1. 1 is saved in this file. That one value is assigned to dollar count. What is the next step I am going to do? File put contents. Okay, file put contents, similar to f write, we can use the file put contents. The first you will specify the what file, count.txt, and what I am going to write, I am going to write dollar count plus 1. Whatever, already I had one visitor, correct? So what I will do next, I will put the increase the value to 2. So I will make that file content as a 2. And what is my next step? Already count I have got. Once you have the count, you will just increment it. Then echo, this is what is going to be shown on the HTML. Echo, what you are going to echo? I am going to echo this h1. Okay, visitor information, this is just a text, this is a header, it will come as a header. And second echo h2, your okay, this is the start of the h2. Then you see the dot. What is the dot? Dot is the concatenation. In case of a PHP, how do we concatenate two strings? Using the dot. This is the opening h2 tag. Dot, it is concatenated with this text, you are visitor number. Dot, dot will again concatenate with what? Count. What is the value stored in the count? 1. 1 is stored, that is concatenated with the closing tag. So in the web page, what you are going to see, in as a h1 header, you are going to see visitor information, and as the h2 header, you are going to see your visitor number, content of the count. If it is for the first time, it will show 1. If he is visiting second time, 2, 3, 4, so on. So we will see this. And how to put this code? You have to put this code in the particular folder. I will show that folder. You have to go to the installation. And one more thing, when you are doing the installation, what you do is choose the C and Xampp. Okay, mostly by default it will choose this same folder, C:\Xampp. Please choose this. Don't try to put it in the program files. Sometimes it might cause some problem. If it is by default, if it is not showing as a this folder, please create it. Don't install it in the program files folder. So inside the Xampp, we have htdocs. Okay, here is the folder htdocs. So whatever the application that you are going to put here, you are going to put it here. So let me remove. I used it for the testing purpose. Let me remove all those things. Okay, now this is the folder htdocs, C:\Xampp htdocs. You have to copy your file. Where is your file? Wherever you have kept it in your local system. In our case, JCE, then I have lab. This is my source code. So I will copy this program number 6 and I will paste it here. Okay. Paste it in C, Xampp and htdocs. That is the location. Once you save your file here, now you can see here I do not have count.txt file. Now how to run this particular PHP code? You will go to the web browser. Earlier what you said? Earlier you said localhost, right? Localhost, you make sure that your localhost is running, everything is up and running. So your Apache is running, that is fine. Okay, once you see this particular page, then here what you have to give is your program name, that is program 6.php, local host / then name of your PHP, then hit enter. So now we came here for the first time. So that is why you are seeing you are visitor 1. And also in the background, what has happened is in the ht docs, in the same folder where the PHP file is there, account.txt file is created. And what would be the content of this count.txt? So definitely the count would be 2, because we created the file with the value as 1, and that value is taken, 1 is taken to display on this particular HTML page, right? Now what I will do is I will revisit the page. I will just refresh, revisit the page, the count has increased. Now in the file count.txt, the count has become 3. When I do a load again, I am going to read from that file first. Means what is stored there in that file, now it is 3 is stored here. 3 is stored here. When I am loading the code, okay, so now what happens, the file name is given, this condition will become false. Why this will become false? File exists, this will come as a true, then you are complementing, it becomes false. So this condition will be false after the first attempt. Okay, once we have the first visitor, then this condition will never be true, it will directly come here. And what we are doing, we are reading file get contents, we are reading the contents of the file. So it will read 3, and then it will increment the content of the file to 4. Then whatever it has read, it will display. Okay, that is what it will display. Now in the file the count is 3. If I refresh, now when I refresh, when it is loading the PHP, first it will read the content which is 3, then it will write into the file as 4, and then it will display this page. So you can see. So if you see the file, it will become 4. And if you want to restart, what you have to do is just remove this particular file. Now I removed the count.txt file from htdocs. If I say refresh, it should say 1. Okay, and also it should create the count.txt file. Okay, so in this particular program, there is no way you can make a mistake. Earlier version of the program, count.txt was to be created manually. So what I did was I added additional code. In this code itself, it will check whether file exists. If file is not present, it will automatically create that particular file and it will go through. The reason I did was, like earlier version, the problem is like students, they used to forget to create that count.txt with value 1. If you make that, this program will not work. So everything is incorporated here. Make sure that what kind of a problems you can foresee here. If your code is perfectly correct, then if page is not loading, that means check whether the Xampp server is correctly installed and it is working properly or not, and make sure whatever the code you have written, that is present in the htdocs. The code should be present in the C colon Xampp and htdocs subfolder. It should be always present in that particular folder, then only it will work. Otherwise it will not work. Just to show here, now it is working because Apache server is running, and it is making sure that PHP code runs and it renders the HTML. In the HTML we are showing h1 and h2. That is how you are seeing the information. Just for the sake of understanding, I will stop the Apache server. So now there is no web server to process the PHP. If I say, if I load the page, you will get this error. Okay, so this kind of a error might happen, so you have to take care. And once you are done with all your work, you can stop the instances and you can close the Xampp control panel.